Hi, everybody. I wanted to give you a heads up on how homework should be submitted. Um, when you see, first of all, let's talk about CodePen. CodePen is great, but you have to understand what it's for. It's not for submitting homework. Like, you wouldn't send a link from CodePen into your homework. It's just, honestly, I did it because all the employers that I talk to, and even when I'm hiring someone, I look at their CodePens. I want to see what they've done. So, like, for me, I keep what's public very, very rare. I will, do things that I'm working with. Like, I had to do this silly thing, and this was kind of the build of another site that I was working on. I'll show you at birthday.radius.com. So I was tweaking that gravity for the confetti. Let me make sure that, I don't care about this. Let me just go to birthday.radius.com, this right here. And this is going to be really funny, but when you go to, let's make sure that we have this. Hopefully, results, get started. It looks like they've removed my confetti, but it used to have it when you mouse over, you would have confetti here. So when I get asked to do something, I usually start with a CodePen if it's usually advanced JavaScript. But what happens is it becomes part of your portfolio. So I'll show you a good example from one of our students today. Marcy McKeon. She's got the right idea for what we're doing here. So this is her work. It's advanced. She's got some experience. This is what she submitted for week 2, which is excellent. But what I really liked was this. She had a link to her CodePen. So really, this is about working with the future and building your portfolio. That's really what CodePen's about. But as far as homework, what I'd expect is that when you come in here, if you want to use CodePen to do your homework, just export it. Just export it. And when I export this as a zip, there I go, I just did it, and this is called CodePen, and I have an index.html here, and this is fine if we do that. Okay, so I have my images, etc., they're external. One thing that I would like to bring up too is the folder structure. If you're not doing a, what I would recommend is, let's say you have homework. Let's say I call this homework 2. Okay, I'll make a new file, new folder. So this is homework 2. Okay, and inside this folder, I'll make a folder called images. Images. And then I'll make a file called index.html. Oops. Let me make this file, and I'll just save it as index.html. So this is homework 2 on my desktop. Got a lot of stuff going on. But I'll put this as index.html because that's your home page. That's, there we go, index.html. Okay, cool. So now let's say I have an image. Now I have this thumb image right here. And if I hit Command-I, you can see that it's quite large. It's 1.2 gigabytes. It's enormous. And it's a wallpaper. So I would never, ever submit this to you as that size file. That's ultimately crazy. So what I will do is I'll adjust the size and bring down the resolution. So right now, actually, it's 615, which is still large. But the largest image that I would have on my web page probably is going to be maybe 500-600 pixels wide. But when I do this, I get it down to, wait for it, 46 kilobytes. Now it goes inside the images folder. So I'll put that in here, and now I have that. Now, one thing that I also need to teach you is that there's a website called tinypng.com. And here you can compress all of your images. I usually drag all 20, and that's why one of the reasons I put them in a folder. But for organization, you'd want to use the folders. So you can drag 20 images here. They'll compress them. They'll make them perfect for you, and they'll reduce file size without reducing quality. Now, a couple of things here, like this image right here, the name isn't really intelligent. I should call it sailing.jpg. And they should always be consistent nomenclature. Keep them small case, keep the same extension, .jpg, .png, whatever, but don't make it capitalized. Now, as far as the homework, let's talk about that for a second. Inside our lesson 2, Let's see here, links, images, and tables. You see the homework here. I'll pop it out a little bit and we can go. Pages should be coded, should link to each other, which everyone did. Pages should have at least 2 images. Everybody did a great job on this. But do your best to use semantic elements and visual hierarchy to create a page structure that makes sense. So right now, I just base it off what you've learned and what is in the reading. But in this past homework with the images, I was looking for the figure and figure caption tags, and a lot of people didn't use it. So this is the point of, and this was in the lecture as well, but if I go to page 120 here, you'll see that we have figure and figure caption. So I think maybe only 2 or 3 of you used it. Use the semantic tags. I'll be kind this week, but I'm going to start marking off a little bit more when I present a semantic tag that you don't use, because the homework is meant to come right off the reading and right off the lecture. So that is important. Semantic tags will help the quality of your website. It'll show the quality of your code, and it makes you look good. So after this, what do I do to submit? Well, what I'm going to do is compress this file. Make sure I can. So if I compress homework 2, I would get homework2.zip, and that's what I would submit to the homework. So overall, we've got some excellent work here. I just want to make sure the particulars are best practices, and moving forward, you don't send me anything that's very large, because all of this stuff can be compressed. All right, so excellent work, everybody. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out.